Hello, Miss Hang, and anyone who accidentally comes up with this YouTube channel. I'm Funam, and welcome to my oral presentation. This video contains mind maps of 6 OSCM chapters and also discusses one concept that I've totally drawn to in each chapter. To make sure Miss Hang can see it clearly, the summary of these mind maps will be put in the link on the description. Now, let's move on to Chapter 1, Introduction to Operations and Supply Chain Management, or OSCM, where you can find basic background in this functional field of business. No matter what your major is, understanding OSCM is a must for your success if you desire to do global business. In this section, operation process is the term that drives me crazy the most. It basically contains every single step the firm does in order to create a product. In general, this is a closed cycle, taking place continuously to ensure the accuracy, efficiency, and update of all elements in OSCM. So, how does it happen? The diagram I put on this slide is the best answer. However, I'll use Hamilton mask as an example to make it easier to explain how it actually works. The inputs, the critical ingredients of production, or what we need to create a mask, may include various types of fabric or filter layer, etc. Using all of those, the resources have to go through a transformation process where a lot of steps take place. Let's take a look at this Hamilton thing. The conversion process is all these stages, from checking to packaging. This activity ends whenever masks are finally done and ready to go. Along with this course of action, you must always do the control thing. It's because no one can tell whether the process is optimal or not. The problem always arises. Getting feedback is the best way to adjust and innovate. It helps entrepreneurs to optimize their inputs, resulting in better product quality. Chapter 2, OSCM Strategy, which is concerned with setting policies and plans for using the resources of a firm. I'm totally interested in two terms presented on this slide, which can best describe marketing-oriented dimensions. Order qualifiers are the basic standards that allow your product to be considered by customers when buying. Order winners, however, are the winning criteria that lead to customers buying a product. Pretty confusing, right? So here is an example for a clearer view of these competitive criteria. Purchasing a notebook computer. If you search for a laptops on the internet or directly from the store, you might develop a list of those that all have suitable screens, weigh about 2 kilograms, run Windows 10, and the most important is less than 25 million Vietnam dong. Such features are what you're looking for in a computer, called qualifying dimensions. However, among the list of appropriate computers, you select the one that has the longest battery life. So that is the criterion for all the winners. Here is Chapter 4, Project Management. In each project, it is vital to control the delays. Critical path is the term that positively helps business to control the project progress. It is a longer set of dependent tasks going from the end date back to the start date of the project. Techniques used to find the critical path are called CPM, which follows the following steps. First, identify each activity to be done and estimate how long it will take to complete each activity. Then, determine the required sequence of activities and construct a network about the precedence relationships. After that, clarify the critical path by selecting tasks with early times equal to their respective late times. So here is the example for it. After finishing the following steps, we can acknowledge the critical path being A, D, F, G, H. It's because these are the sequences of activities that meet the requirements. This also means that any little procrastination of B, C, or E in permitted time would not harm the project. The estimated late finish time is still 21 days. And here is chapter 9, Design Service Processes. As the case with manufacturing process design, the standard tool for service process design is called Service Blueprint. It holds the function to emphasize the importance of process design. A unique feature of it is the distinction made between the high-context process that customers see and those activities that they cannot see. This distinction is made with a line of visibility on the flowchart. Furthermore, a complete service blueprint that provides sufficient information needed will include various dimensions. So here is an example for a blueprint of a typical hotel service operation. Here, each activity that makes up a typical service encounter is mapped into the flowchart. To better show the entirety that controls the activities, levels are shown in this blueprint. The top level of the activities that directly communicate with customers. Next are those activities performed by service manager in handling those customers in the top level. The third level is the repair activities performed behind, which are barely visible to customers. They cannot see and they feel the service only. The lower level is the internal accounting activity. Moreover, the lowest level is the estimated time for each activity, contributing to being more proactive in taking care of customers. And as you can see, the highest here is physical evidence, which can show you where each activity takes place. Thanks to this blueprint, everyone can have a clearer view about how this hotel is organized. Employees also have grounds for reasonable and in-time activities adjustment. The clearer the blueprint is, the efficiency the employees can make in action. Chapter 15, Logistics, Distribution and Transportation, shows us what logistics is and analyzes all of the related parts. In warehouse design, cross-docking impressed me the most. It is an approach where rather than making larger shipments, they are broken down into small shipments for local delivery in an area. Let's analyze this picture. Assume A is a car factory and these 4 containers on the left come from Japan, Korea, Thailand and India, for example. These containers hold different types of automotive components. Destination A requires 4 of those in the containers. Thanks to the consolidation warehouse, cross-docking helps rearrange all of the products, fit them into reasonable segments. In this example, this approach helps put auto parts in boxes A aside, make it easier for container A to pick it up and move. Without cross-docking, I believe that we cannot result in a minimal amount of inventory being carried in the warehouses and at the same time facilitate the efficiency of the entire system. And this is chapter 2, Inventory Management. It provides learners with the related knowledge about inventory. And In the inventory planning and accuracy section, I like ABC classification the most. It is an analysis of a wide range of items, such as finished products or customers, into three categories: A. Outstandingly important, B. Of average importance, and C. Relatively unimportant, as basis for a control scheme. This yellow rectangle on the left side shows the meaning of each letter in this process name. We all witness that A is considered the most important item in this classification. In conclusion, this technique is used to allocate reasonable personnel to take good care of item A and perhaps a little bit of item B for effective use of human resources. I am going to use Sam's stationery business as the example. First, they list the product in descending order based on their annual consumption value. After that, they calculate the percentage of those values as the table presented on this slide. The next step is quite vital. Determine the thresholds for splitting the data into A, B, and C categories. Typically, it's close to 80, 15, and 5. With the calculations complete, you can see that diaries and notepad are two things that bring the most profit for Sam. They are items that we must pay more attention to for the sake of efficient inventory policies. And thanks to this analysis, Sam's employees can acknowledge these two kinds of products and maybe a little here to protect and carefully monitor, and those here to reduce resources on it. Thanks to this scheme, we can easily arrange the product and classify whether it is important or not. Thanks to it, we would not waste our human resource on the less critical ingredients and fully recruitment on the outstanding and the necessary products that makes a lot of profit for the company. And here is just mind maps of the chapter 7 only. Only. So this is the end of my oral presentation. I very appreciate to Miss Hang for teaching me a lot of useful knowledge about OSCM, and I hope you will have a great health. You and your family will live happily ever after, and you will succeed in your job and your research as well. Many love. Many love. Many love. Many love.